You're listening to Cinema Rex. It's an Iranian film podcast. Episode 67. Dariush Mehrjui's Santouri. Hello, Farhan. How are you doing? Welcome, children of the Iranian cinemaphile world who enjoy watching Iranian cinema. Farhan, how are you doing? You doing good?
I am
That's
good.
great.
How are you?
Listen, today we're talking...
Wow.
No, go ahead. What's up? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Top of the moon. We are all children of one planet living
moon?
together in harmony and ecstasy. Every moment is an orgasmic explosion of
Hey,
joy.
What's that poster behind you over your right shoulder?
It's not a video podcast, so it doesn't matter.
I know, but I think it deserves a shout out.
That is my poster for Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness, which is a fantastic film that Farhan feels really strongly about.
What is it?
This is Kaveh Taherian's beautifully illustrated poster of a Seymour, or like Phoenix bursting out of flames with the words "Free Iran." And he gave it to me as a gift when he went to visit LA. He was like, "Hey, Farhan, I've got a gift for you to give to someone else," and this you did.
Yeah.
They're my friends. Great work they do.
10 out of 10.
I'm going to cut to the chase because we have a lot of wonderful stuff to talk about, and I'm really excited to introduce this wonderful, lovely guest we have
have
at
a
our
guest?
doorstep. Yep, knock on the door, bing bong.
Oh my
That's
God!
not a
Knock.
That was the doorbell. Well, you know what? We'll tell her next time to not ring the doorbell because it actually makes the dogs bark, which is actually very unfortunate. Now my dog's going crazy.
Bing bong.
But before we get to our guests, Durud bar shoma dostan aziz. This is the Cinerex podcast where we talk all things Iranian cinema and film and writing and acting and producing and directing.
Harmonicas.
And harmonicas and drug addiction. And
But not beating your wife.
we don't talk
But don't
about
do
that.
it.
Well, we do talk about that, but in the context of the plot. Don't do that. Don't beat your husband either. Don't beat anybody.
Don't beat people. Don't beat anybody.
Don't beat anyone.
Yeah.
I'm Kaveh Mohebi.
And I'm Farhan Moradi.
And we have a guest today.
We have a guest? Who's our guest?
Sepideh Yadegar. How are you?
I'm good.
That's
Thanks
great.
for having me. How's it going, you
Great.
guys?
Sepideh Yadegar, in case you don't know, is an award-winning writer and director whose acclaimed feature film One Must Wash Eyes has garnered significant recognition, including Best Canadian Feature at the Regina International Film Festival, Best Screenplay at Vancouver International Women's Film Festival, and nominations for Outstanding Performance at ACTRA, Best Sound at the BC Leo Awards, and Best Emerging Filmmaker at the Calgary International Film Festival. Beyond her feature work, Sepideh has directed and produced 2 short dramas and 2 short documentaries. She also co-produced and wrote a TELUS original short documentary, which just premiered at Hot Docs. The Hot Docs is the moniker, of course, but it's the Canadian International Documentary Film Festival. Just 2 weeks ago. Sepideh, you've been busy.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it's been great. We had a privilege of premiering the documentary finally after 2.5 years of working on it at one of the biggest film festivals. So we were really happy and lucky.
What is the name of the short documentary, and tell us a bit about it?
The film is called Constant Battles, which is about Niusha Mehrjui, who is an Iranian-born boxer, and she lives in North Vancouver, actually.
Cool.
Very close to me. And she was number 1 in Canada. She is number 1 in Canada. And she was competing to make it to the Olympics, the last Olympics that happened. But a lot happens and you need to watch the film. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but it's a story about her and her mom, who was a political prisoner in Iran right after the revolution. So it's showing their life, parallel life, and how both of them are fighters in their own ways.
That's great.
It's a beautiful film, and yeah.
Knowing how Iranian stories go, this was probably a story about how the government welcomed them with open arms, gave them all of the blessings, totally supported them in every way, didn't give them any trouble, because that's how the government is.
Exactly. How did you know? You ruined the film for everybody.
Yes.
Is your lead actor, is it...
Well, it's a documentary, so it's not...
Were you thinking about One Must Wash Eyes?
Yes. That's what I was talking about.
That's
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that right now.
Yeah.
You also have a film premiering in... Premiering. The day this episode is released, so if you're hearing this the day of, you will have access to go if you're in the Vancouver area. But tell us about One Must Wash Eyes.
One Must Watch Eyes. So we've already premiered it in festivals, as you mentioned. It's going to have its theatrical premiere, and then it will be available online as well. So if you are listening and you're curious, you can find it on Amazon On Demand.
That's where we were supposed to meet. We were supposed to meet at your festival screening of the film.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yes. It was at Oakville
Yeah.
Film Festival. Yeah, it was like 2-3 years
Yeah.
ago for the first time.
But we couldn't. Timeline didn't match up.
Yeah. No, you just bailed last minute, which is fine. I didn't take it personally. I still remember.
But we
it,
met.
but
We
it's
met at
fine.
BAM.
We did finally in last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaveh.
I met both of you in
Kaveh
BAM.
as well. You met Mehrjui, Ruzbeh, Alex. You met like all these people who have all been on the podcast. Even Rob.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon cards. You have to collect all the people you met from previous episodes until you've met every guest. You got to catch them all.
Yeah, exactly.
I am interested in hearing about you. I mean, I think people should know about your story and your background with getting into film and cinema because I think I like the story and I think it's one that's worth hearing. You lived in Iran until what year?
2011.
2011, you moved to Canada. And at that time, you hadn't gotten into filmmaking, correct?
That is correct. I came to Canada to study science and go to medical school eventually. But after a year and a half and 2 years of that, I was like, I don't think this is for me. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do something in the arts, and I've always been great in drawing and painting and stuff like that. So I was like, what's the closest thing to drawing and painting? And I needed something to like make money as well. So I was like, graphic design sounds like a ideal career. And I went to Emily Carr to study graphic design. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I took one film course because we had to take electives, and I fell in love with filmmaking. I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And yeah.
So before this, you didn't really ever see yourself as like pursuing being a director as a career, like at all?
No.
Growing up, did you consider, like, would you look back and be like, oh, the signs were there? Like, were you really into movies? Did you like know who different filmmakers were? Like, what was your upbringing like around cinema?
Yeah, I was always interested in movies. Even as a child, I was always thinking about how they filmed the two different angles. Like my small brain couldn't figure out how they did the coverage. And I was like, how are they in two places at the same time?
Yeah.
And I actually got like I just didn't think that directing was anything a young woman or a woman can do, because I've only seen people in front of the camera who are women. So I thought I'm gonna like go and become an actress at one point. So when I come from like a kind of a smaller city in the northeast of Iran, and when I was 11 years old, there was a theater group that came to our hometown, and they were auditioning for a lead role in their play. And they were like going to different schools, and they came to my school, and I was like so excited to audition for this role. And I was like talking to my friend, and I was like, I'm sure everybody's super excited for this thing. You don't get a chance to do this. And she was like, no, I'm not excited. And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It was fascinating to me that not everybody was so interested in this art form.
Yeah.
And then I got the role. And on the first day of rehearsal, my dad took me there, and he started talking to the director, and he was like, who is in the play? And the director like started naming people, and my dad was like, so there are other boys here? And the director was like, yes. And my dad was like, she's not gonna do this. So he just
no
took
way.
me back.
Oh man.
So my acting career died before it even started.
Is your family religious?
They're not religious, but they're traditional.
Right. Okay.
Like
okay.
old school mindset. Like my dad is not Muslim. We've never been to a mosque, but like tradition has deeper roots in
Yeah.
a way.
Does your dad know there's 2 other boys on this podcast with you right now? Should we call him and ask for his blessing?
It's past that point now. He's like, you're a lost cause.
Okay. All right. Well, now at least he knows the truth.
Yeah. No, it was pretty funny.
Hi, Sepideh, Baba.
Oh, no. So I started putting plays together with 2 of my friends, and we started like acting and playing and directing and writing skits, just the 3 of us, and performed it in front of our class, entire school actually. Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't know you act. That's cool.
I don't. I'm a terrible actor.
Well, we'll find something for you.
Thank you.
We'll find
I'm waiting
a role
for
for
the great script to be written by the great Kaveh Mohebi and be
Whoa.
directed by the great Farhan.
Mohebi.
For my lead role.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we'll write some. We'll find something. You could have played, I find like you could have probably done a very excellent job. Are you a good crier? Can you cry?
I think I'm an ugly crier.
Just take
I feel
a
like you could
photo
cry.
of her and
Ugly
rip
crier.
it in front of her.
Great. I think beautiful criers are not convincing. I think you could have played a very good Goldshifteh Farhani. Whatever Goldshifteh's role was in this film, I think you could have
I
done
don't
it.
think so.
It's a lot of crying.
I know. It was a lot
Well,
of
maybe.
crying.
Well, let's
And a lot of
talk
excitement,
about
too.
today's film.
Yes.
This was your suggestion when we
Yes.
said let's have you on the podcast and talk about a movie.
Yeah.
So tell me about Dariush Mehrjui's Ali Santouri, also known as Santouri, also known as the Music Man for some reason.
When did you first watch it?
When I was 16. I was either 15 or 16. It was exciting to go and watch it again as an adult and be like, oh, it's still good. I still like it. There's so much here.
Good.
I wasn't sure. You never know with movies. Sometimes you go back, you're like, I ruined it for myself.
Did you see it in Iran?
Yes, but because it was banned, you could only get it illegally.
DVDs.
Like you can't get all the movies illegally in Iran.
Did it play in theaters for a couple days before they banned
It
it?
played
No,
in a festival.
it never
I'll
did.
get to it.
Yeah,
It
never did.
played at one festival.
Yeah, Fajr. The biggest like film festival
Classic.
around Iran. Yeah,
Yeah.
largest.
Well, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it because, as always, as this podcast goes, Farhan and I also have thoughts.
It's true.
Yep.
And
Yep,
let's dive right into it with a plot summary.
Okay, let's do it.
Dariush Mehrjui's Santouri, or Ali Santouri, follows Ali, a gifted and charismatic santour player whose rise to fame in Tehran's music scene gradually collides with addiction, family pressures, the absence of his ex-wife, and the emotional cost of celebrity. Told through fragmented memories and moments from different stages of his life, the film paints a melancholic portrait of an artist struggling to hold on to love, identity, and music in the face of personal collapse and substance abuse. This film has no Rotten Tomatoes score, which I was actually surprised by because this is actually one of the more famous movies in the pantheon of stuff we've done. And it has a 63% audience score. So I ask you, Sepideh June, what did you think on your second viewing of Ali Santouri?
I love the film.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much.
Great.
I love Bahram Radan's acting and performance. I love Goldshifteh in it. I think I like Bahram Radan's performance a bit better. I mean, Goldshifteh had her moments as well, and she's really good. And she was only like 24 years old. She's like crazy to think about. She was
wow, I didn't
so
know
young. It just summarizes what a lot of people are going through in Iran, especially at a time watching it as a teenager. My first thought was, oh no, that's gonna be my future,
no.
to be like, oh, it doesn't matter where you
I'm
go.
going to be a heroin addict.
But
like, that is my
there's
life.
like no hope, you can't like follow your dreams.
Especially if you were
easily.
gonna work in the theater.
Yeah, exactly. Artists, forget it. Why do you think I was gonna become a doctor?
Yeah, to prescribe your own heroin to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's an interest. I'm really glad you said that because I think there's something very unique about your perspective of this film that might not resonate with someone like Farhan or I, because you do have the unique experience of having grown up in modern-ish Iran. Like, you didn't grow up in the 50s or 60s or 70s or 80s. You grew up in relatively modern times.
Yeah.
And there's something, I'll oversay, okay, I'm going to say like large overthoughts. I have very mixed reviews on how I feel about this film. There's things I really like and things I struggle with.
Yeah, me too.
And the things I struggle with I'll get into like as we discuss this further, but right off the top, I'll say like positive things. I think the chemistry between Golshift and Radan is wonderful.
Yeah,
especially when they're happy, when they're in love and together, and the joyous moments. I was like, these two have instant chemistry.
Yeah,
like
100%.
you can see like the acting between them and like the love and the joyous stuff.
Also, she's like a freaking vampire.
In what sense?
She looks the exact like she looks the exact same in this movie as she did in Reading Lolita in Tehran. Like she did not age.
Sorry, for a second I thought you watched A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night by accident.
Imagine.
I'm like, Farah, you
I'm
put
like,
on the wrong
why
movie.
did Anna Lily completely just remake this movie?
No, I also have to say that to its film credit, the music is so beautiful.
The music's really good.
And this is like an idiot who's like completely been divorced from that part of Iranian culture for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why these movies are important, because I started like YouTubing the soundtrack from this film and being like, the songs are beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like a way for me to get introduced into songs that I wouldn't have otherwise heard, because this film is also, it's a musical in the sense that they do take time to break away from the story to just like, here's a 3.5 minute like performance.
It'll like play the song out in full.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Sepideh, the song Khianat, did that song come out because of this movie, or was it already a song that was popularized or that was included in the movie?
I think all the songs, like the album was released alongside
the movie.
film.
Yeah. Because Khianat was a song that, like, I remember a bunch of these songs were really famous and popular, like, even here, like, on this side. Khianat was one that, like, all my cousins were singing.
It was a bit of both from my research. It was a bit of, like, some of these songs are original songs that were around, but then they did make an official soundtrack of songs by the artist whose name, do you know it off the top of your head?
Mohsen Chavoshi.
Mohsen Chavoshi, like, wrote... Like, he's the one singing essentially during all the singing pieces. It's
so
his
funny
voice
to like
you're
see
hearing.
Bahram Brada and just like
he's
lip singing. Yeah, I mean that reminded me a lot of those film Farsi movies, especially the ones that starred like Gugush and Dariush, because it was a lot of the same thing where they would they would have soundtracks for those movies. And the songs that were in the movies became like these massive hit singles afterwards. Right.
Well, even in the speaking roles, they would do that too.
Huh?
Remember we talked about that? What's the guy from? What's your buddy's name? Who's that guy? The character is the funny character. Samad. What's his name?
Harvey Sayad.
Harvey Sayad was like one of the first people to like record audio live in films. Remember we discussed that?
Oh, that's cool.
Was it? No, it wasn't him. It was.
Was it?
No.
Kimiai?
It might have been.
It was one of the new wave guys.
It was one of the new wave guys, but it wasn't him because we used him as an example of what people who didn't do it.
Right. If only there was a podcast we could listen to figure out what that was. But either way, there was a time they wouldn't record the audio for the dialogue, so they just dub it later on.
Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of that stuff was happening. Yeah. But okay, Farm, what did you think about the film?
I really liked it. I didn't know that it was non-linear.
Yeah.
So there was a point early on in the film where I was really confused by something. I was like, what is going on? And then I missed a whole scene.
Come on.
And then as the movie, and then I was like, oh wait, maybe it's just non-linear and the information will be presented to me. And sure enough, that was the case.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know.
I thought it was fairly easy based on his emotional state. Like, oh, he's clearly not beaten up, bruised, and battered in this scene. So this scene happened
No. Before that.
Yeah, I guess.
Literally the scene where he gets beaten up was the scene that I was like, what is going on? And then I was like, oh,
right.
This is non-linear and it'll be explained.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did really like it. Did you guys think that he like kind of like looked like a biblical figure?
Yeah, it looks like Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus, Moses.
Jesus plays the
Baron
center.
Rodon was the Brad Pitt of...
Was he? I was going to ask if he was like a heartthrob.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you were like, were you feeling that too? Like, were you still like, oh, he's still so hot? Or were you like, I can't believe I thought he was hot when I was 16?
No, he's cute.
Did you have a crush on him?
At the time?
Yeah.
As a 16-year-old? Yes, of course I did.
Everyone did? Because I feel like, I look back on the crushes I had on celebrities when I was 16. You don't need to know who they were. It's okay. And I look back at them, I'm like,
tell us one.
I was like, what was I thinking?
Give us an example.
My first real celebrity crush, this is before I was 16. Like the first time I ever felt really strong emotions about someone I didn't know was Jerry Halliwell, Ginger Spice. The Spice Girls.
Oh yeah.
Her name is Jerry.
Jerry Halliwell.
The boy's
She's
name.
also known as, she was initially known as Sexy Spice, and then they had to change that. She was known. If you guys are all Googling her right now.
It's too. No, I'm going through my notes.
We have to
She's
look at what she looked like.
cute. What are you
this-
talking about?
Was this the
She's
first
cute.
movie to like first major Iranian movie at the time to like feature drug use like this?
No.
Well, no. Obviously,
No.
we talked about
The Deer.
the
but
deer
you
and
don't
stuff.
see it in The Deer. Like in this movie, you like straight up see heroin needles like in
I
people's
guess,
arms.
yeah. Well, that's an interesting paradoxical thing about this film is that you do see alcohol being drunk
Yeah.
Yeah.
very clearly.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
drug use,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yet there's a house party. All the women are indoors, and everyone's wearing a
Yeah.
roussel,
Yeah.
which I'll get
Well,
to later on. But it
yeah.
was just like this blurred lines of between what he was willing to deal with the censors and what he wasn't
Yeah.
is an interesting thing you have to deal with.
I wrote here, oh my God, Derog Merog, when it popped up.
Okay, that's good. That's very helpful. Thank you. That's good. That's very professional insight.
Remember,
So that-
Yeah.
you're the
Can
funny
you just
one. I'm
repeat
the
that
smart
for any
one.
of the listeners? Any listeners who like want to write that fact down? Can you just
Yeah.
repeat that one
oh
again for
my
him?
God, Derog Merog.
Great. One time someone called me the funny one and Farn the smart one on the podcast, just for the listeners.
But like the reason I wrote that is because like I had like a visceral reaction to like actually seeing
Yeah, you see the
heroin
needle go
needles
in. Yeah.
and like like the lighter
you
under the
didn't,
spoon and whatever. Sorry?
I said you didn't see the needle go in. They cut.
They cut away. But then there's a couple times where like it shows a needle is in someone's arm. And the one guy
Yeah.
like pulls it out of his arm and he threatens another guy with it.
I know. Also, the entire time I was watching it, I was like, even in the fight scenes, I was like, there are no like rules. They're
Yeah.
probably actually fighting. There's like no
Right, yeah.
stunt coordinator there
No.
trying to like help people.
No,
No,
there's no intimacy
they're-
coordinator during any of those
No.
fight scenes.
No,
Yeah.
there's none. I remember the scene where they're sitting after is when they're like Hania and Ali are still like in their honeymoon phase and
Yeah.
they're watching a movie.
Oh yeah, they were watching
What-
Mary Poppins.
Mary
Mary
Poppins, yeah.
Poppins. And they both have like the
Oh yeah.
Towel
the
things on.
towels. At a time, I was like, "Oh my god!" They're implying they just showered together, and it was a huge deal because you didn't
yeah.
have that in Iran, like in
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of the movies and TV shows. So that was a big deal too.
That's
I
crazy.
thought they were getting like facials or something. I thought they were getting something.
Oh,
like
and that was right before they got married too, wasn't it?
No, it was after. It was after.
Was it after?
But they went camping before they were married.
Their wedding scene was very cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. They got pizza and
Yeah, all the happiness, the moments of joy were very well. Like I wish there was a bit more of that.
Yeah,
to be
me too,
honest,
me too.
Which we'll get to.
but that's not life.
Yeah, I mean, I can
There's
look
a
out
quote-
my
quote-
window if I want to see life.
Quote from Sepideh. 2026.
Write
That's
that down.
not
Anyone who
life.
wants to write that down.
That's not life.
This is the funny guy. I'm going to ask you guys a very funny question. It's not. It's deeply literary. This is a very philosophical question. Deeply academic. I wonder if this film is too much under the gaze of masculine patriarchy,
Mhm.
because there's some. Okay, so I'll just say it. And I've said this many times before to Farn in private, and I've said this many times on the podcast, is I don't care if a character's not
Oh,
likable
I was
as
going to
long as
ask
they're
you about
interesting.
this. I was going to ask you about this.
And
Literally
here's
verbatim.
the thing. When he hits her very early on in the movie, there's a scene where Gorshift is upset, and he's not even fallen that far down the drug addict well yet. He's still
Yeah.
relatively himself.
He's sober at that point.
Yeah.
He's sober. He like hits her for, she's rightfully furious with him for like not pursuing a career or following up anything and like doing anything in his life. She throws something, it like hits his santour.
It's lettuce.
Lettuce
Yeah.
hits the santour, and he's like, why did you hit the santour? Like, and he gets so mad he hits her. And in my mind, I'm thinking like,
He
I
hits her
hate
hard.
this. I hate that he did that. He hits her really hard. It's
Yeah.
ugly, especially because of how well they were good together. And I feel like I see her as a woman who's really standing by her man. Like, she's really being supportive of him.
Yeah.
He's a friggin' artist, and he hits her. And I know we're looking at this from a 2026 lens. I know we're looking at this from a North American lens. But I wonder if it's like, is the writing of that, which I should get to. Mehrjui wrote this with his wife. His wife,
Yeah.
Vahide Mohammadi Far,
Yeah.
who was the woman who was tragically murdered alongside him just like 2 years, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
She wrote the script with him. And I wonder how much of this is like probably a little bit metaphorical for their actual relationship too, as like an artist and a wife who's an artist and supporting him in a lot of ways. And I was just like, is it supposed to be like, oh, look how passionate he is about his santour, that like as soon as she throws something at a santour, he's taken to a rage that he has to like hit her and become violent. And I'm like, that's not romantic, man. That doesn't to me. And I don't mean romantic towards her. I'm like, that fuck your santour. Like you hit a woman over getting lettuce on a santour. It's like I've lost my like appreciation for you as a character. I'm not on your side anymore, dog.
Okay, so Kava, I have a question for you now. You having said that.
Yeah.
So you have said, screw your character being good or bad.
Yeah.
Is your character interesting?
Yeah.
Do you think that the character was interesting enough to get you through the movie knowing that he was a scumbag who beat his wife?
Nope. And that's my biggest problem with the film.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down. I literally wrote here, he hit Goldschifte for hitting the santour with lettuce. Fuck this guy. Irredeemable. Nope, nope, nope. And then I made a note. I wrote, ask Kave if he thinks he's interesting. And I agree with you. I also don't think he's interesting.
Did you write Kave Mave, like Drag Marag?
Yeah.
Under that?
I wrote Kotak Motak.
And I want to know about your thoughts about Sepideh. Like, as a woman who grew up in Iran and seeing this at 16 years old, did that feel different to you watching it like now as like a grown woman who's like now living in North America, who's not, I mean, look, Canada's got its flaws. It's still very patriarchal society, but it's a different dystopian version of that in Iran. Yeah. And I wanted to like, did your perspective of that change from when you saw it then?
When I saw it, that was like one of the things I was like, ugh, I didn't remember that he did that. That was overreaction. But then I was like, there are a lot of Iranian men inside the country who are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sucks.
I think maybe the filmmaker Dariush Mehrjui and Vahide Mohammadi Fard were trying to like portray the reality of, unfortunately, Iranian men, some Iranian men, not all of them obviously, but some Iranian men who know they have a lot of power in the country.
Some men in general.
Some men, they know they have a lot of power over their women. And the worst part was, I think, my problem with the entire script was when Hanya's mom is like, you need to go back to your husband.
Yeah.
And I'm
that's
like,
exactly
no,
right.
that's the problem with our society, that there's like no support for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I wrote specifically, like your mother-in-law, she says, go see him, gona dare.
Yeah.
You're his wife. Yeah. This is very male. This is the very male lens to see this through.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
The fact that the mother-in-law is me, like, says, un gona dare, like, essentially, for non-pros, it's like poor guy, like that guy's helpless, like he needs you or whatever, and it's just like don't dote on him. He hit your daughter. Be more supportive of your daughter. Like that's the stuff. That
I want to go back to that, to what you were saying, Sepideh, that you didn't remember that after you saw that. Did it jog your memory? Like, do you think Sepideh in 2007 watching the movie, do you think you looked at that scene and you were like, this guy's an irredeemable piece of shit? Or do you think you were like, oh, wow, he's so passionate about a santour?
No, I didn't think that he was a piece of shit for doing that. I never thought he was like so passionate about his santour. It just shows how like there's
just like a character flaw.
It's like it's a character flaw, and it's about his ego, really not about his santour, you know.
Yeah.
But like at the time, I was probably like, oh, that's normal. Like this happens every day.
Right.
You know, I didn't think
at the time it's just seen as like a little character flaw or like a little quirk. But now looking at it, you're like, oh, this guy's
No, he was a piece of shit then, and he's still like an asshole who couldn't deal with like it doesn't matter who you are and what kind of troubles you're going through in life. You cannot be mean to other people just because you had a bad day or your life is falling apart. Like that is not negotiable. Like, but then we need some people who are crazy to make a good character for movies. So,
but I don't even think that it was enough to make him a good character.
Yeah,
like what Kaveh was saying too about
Yeah.
Like it made it really hard for me to sympathize with him with everything else that he was going through. There wasn't enough to his character. There wasn't enough nuance to his character for me to be like, oh, you know what? They actually made me feel for this guy.
You know, putting my screenwriter hat on, I think there's something this film sorely misses.
Mhm.
And in reading a lot of the academic papers that were written on this stuff,
Mhm.
they keep alluding to it. And I was like, the film should have had more of this thing that you're alluding. And I think this film should have had a little bit more to do with how the government is stepping in to
Mhm.
destroy this guy's career.
Yeah.
Because that is on the surface level, and not surface level. It's actually quite deep subtext that it's because of the government putting restrictions on the type of popular music he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he
They
can't
mentioned
work
it
anymore.
twice. Yeah.
They mentioned it twice. But also, like, when the fight thing happens that breaks his arm, that was just a guy that was upset at the housekeeper for not, like, for his daughter, right? That was like a
Yeah.
personal beef, right?
Yeah, it was like, it was a personal thing that was not related to them.
Yeah. He
Exactly.
just got caught up in it.
And I don't, maybe that was a Mehrjui way of, like, showing that scene without talking about the government and stuff. But, like, you already have, like, people drinking alcohol. And, like, I get that he was trying to, I don't know if Mehrjui was trying to make a film that would get past censors.
On
but
that
the film
point,
should have been more about that battle.
100%. And on that point, they didn't need to make him a government person. Like it could have just been someone who was like, didn't like music or thought that it was like taboo, or even like he was doing like a fusion type of music. He could have been like, oh, you're like ruining acid music or whatever. Like there's a number of ways that they could have explored it where we could have understood by reading through the lines, oh, this character is supposed to be a stand-in for the regime.
Well, I guess the fight at the wedding was also about like this. I think the bride's dad promised the guy who attacked
Yeah.
the daughter for his son.
He asked for the hand in marriage. And he
Yeah,
was like,
and they were like, yes. Then he sent his son to Sarbazi, and then when he came back, she's getting married to somebody else, and that was the whole thing. Which is like, again, like looking at this patriarchal society that we have in Iran and how like women are just objects for these men who are just like kind of like selling them as if like, you know.
Yeah. Here's one thing I want to ask the filmmakers in the class.
I'm a filmmaker.
My adorable, beautiful filmmakers, both of you sitting there in the back of my class. First one to raise your hand to answer the question. I find it very interesting, the editing of this film, because it's an interesting choice to start with the destruction of the relationship and work backwards to show the happier moments. There's one happy moment early on with the birds when she kisses the bird and lets it go. But I was like, this film, if differently edited film, would have a vastly different feel. And I don't know. I really don't know this is a worse version or better version, but I also really wonder if like how this film would feel if we got all of the love scenes in the first half hour and we fell in love with these two. And because we're in this space for 30 minutes where it's like we really love, we're hoping for them to make it, all this up. And then the addiction slowly gets worse and then it becomes a doomed tragedy.
Yeah.
I think that might have a feel to me. And I'm not saying I don't like films that jump around timeline. I love when films do that. But specifically because of how good they are together, once I've already know that these are past clips and it's gone bad, those feelings aren't as effective for me because I felt like, I'm like, well, but they're not going to end up together. So I don't, like, I already know this is doomed.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe they end up together at the end. Maybe they don't. But there's another arc to this story if it's just them in linear form, seeing the rise and fall of a very beautiful, happy marriage.
Yeah.
And it ending. And I wonder, you guys always have to think about editing. Directors always have to think about, you know, the assembly of a film. What do you think about the editing of this film? Not even the editing in terms of shots. I just mean the structural editing of this film. Like, do you like that? Do you think it was the best way to tell it?
There's one specific moment where Ali just got home and he's like holding, I think, one of the kabutars in his hand, and it's raining outside, and then it cuts to like the happy moment when they're in that moment. Nice. That was really nice, and I'm wondering if that was the reason they did that, you know, to
just for
like
that one
start
moment?
it that way for just that one moment to
show.
There is a nice, like, to your point, there is a nice parallel you constantly get of like, here's him at his lowest. Here's the book or whatever he finds. Here's the memory of that book when it was happy. And that is nice from a moment to moment parallel.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just a very different movie if you're doing the whole arc versus these capturing these moments. And I don't know which one would have been stronger.
I agree with you.
I think it would have been the way you mentioned it, like what you're suggesting would have probably made it easier to get to the very lowest moment of his life, because by the time that we got to the super low moments, I was like, I'm done. I want to get out of here.
Yeah.
I want to swim out, go to the surface. And I feel like if it was edited a different way, it would have made it easier.
Yeah, because of the way that it's cut, like the nonlinear storytelling, you are basically living in his lowest moment for the entire movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Whereas,
a lot.
And a lot, it feels a little bit repetitive at times too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you're going to do that, it's like, okay, then we need to see some kind of transformation earlier on in the film. Like something needs to be different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what we end up doing is we're watching for the majority of this movie, even though, we're cutting away to flashbacks. It feels like even those flashbacks feel like we're watching it through the lens of this guy in his lowest moment, remembering what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just basically watching 2 hours of this guy being really depressed and sad and addicted to drugs. And then he goes to rehab and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
Like that scene that you were talking about, Sepideh, with him holding the pigeon.
Yeah.
Right? Or the dove or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't even think that needs to be as on the nose as a flashback. If we had already seen the good moments earlier on in the film with the two of them and the doves and whatever, when we get to that scene in the movie where he's holding the dove and he's sad and he doesn't even say anything, I think that scene would have been so much more powerful, just visually seeing it. Because we as an audience also saw where he came from. We don't need a on the nose flashback.
Yes and no. I personally love a good, this is where we were and this is where we are.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
I like the other way around as well.
Right.
But I totally understand what you're saying. It's trusting the audience that they will get there themselves.
To contrast my own perspective and Farhan's perspective, there is also a problem with it being all in one chronological order, because you still are going to get way too much of the same beats happening in a row. Yeah. Even if you recut it the other way too. So it doesn't save you from that.
Yeah.
I was going to say one thing that was kind of nice at the third act was the moment when he was cooking for all these homeless people.
Yes. Yeah. That is nice. We'll get to behind the scenes in a minute, but the soundtrack by Mohsen Chavoshi, it's really interesting because it is we should give him more credit to this film too. He is a large part of what makes this film great. And there's some behind the scenes stuff that I'll get to, but it's I really liked it. We should be just let's shout out to that guy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Even the scene
really
with the
good
violinist, that violinist guy, I was like, yo, this guy's freaking good.
Yeah, I was also surprised to see Goldshift there. It's such a good piano
pianist.
player.
Yeah, she was incredible. And that's actually her playing.
Yeah, it is.
I know. No cutting away.
Yeah.
There's also
shout out to Mozart.
The world's largest landlord I've ever seen on
that
Earth.
guy was gigantic.
Showing up at 7'4". I have to move your renovate the place. It's just an intimidating giant just shows up at the door. I would move out too.
You know who he reminded me of? Have you seen Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the giant French henchman?
Vaguely.
I don't think so.
He's 7 feet tall, and his voice is also like that.
It was so funny.
It's funny
I definitely
because
did not remember that part.
He's huge.
The casting, the guy in this film was distractingly large.
Yeah.
I'm just could you cast the guy that doesn't distract my attention from this film? I was just what does that guy eat for breakfast?
It reminds me of something Leone did. Leone used to talk about how he would intentionally go out of his way to cast really weird looking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good old Sergio.
For some reason, I did not remember him. It was also kind of, it's fine. It's like a cutting choice. But he was like walking up the stairs and he was in the house, apartment, all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
really
yeah.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like
I think
cuts. He's
that's-
inside the house, and he's like, and it's a wide shot too. So
Yeah.
so Ali just looks like a hobbit standing next to Gandalf.
Yeah.
I know.
Any other reactions? That's
I have a question.
question. Farhan's question corner.
Do-do-do-do.
Bow, bow, bow.
Okay, there's a part where it's when they're like early on when they're first hanging out. Golshifte is like, "Oh, like what else do you teach?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I can also teach Sazadahani."
Yeah.
And she like giggles and she's like, "No, I'm not interested in that."
Yeah.
Is he flirting
Yeah.
with her? Is that a double entendre? Or did I like read into that?
I think so. I think they're flirting with each other.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Like, because he's like, you should learn something else. And she's like, what else do you teach?
And
You
then
know,
and,
like-
and he specifically like he could have said like Dombak, whatever, but he specifically says Saze Dahani, which I know is harmonica.
because he does. Yeah, he
but I
does
think
too.
it's
We
a
saw
double
it.
I think it's a double entendre for like he wants to kiss
Cunnilingus?
her too.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't think of
went-
that. That's like a whole.
I did. I thought it was okay.
I don't know, maybe. I guess another thing that I want to say that I read in one of the articles.
Word? You read articles too?
I know, crazy. It was a
Wow.
Persian article, so it's all in Farsi.
Article,
so, even
marticle.
Oh,
reading
shit, that's a
that
real article.
was hard for me.
روزنامه خوندی.
It was like talking about how so santour is usually gets used to play traditional Iranian music, and throughout the film he doesn't do that. They're just like playing pop music and like very modern music.
Yeah.
And even the way Ali stands and like plays it is not traditional and normal, because
Yeah.
people usually sit down, charzanu, and like they play it, that way. But he's like
Yeah.
always like standing most of the time.
And he's like hunched over too.
Santour is a metaphor. Santour is not being used the way it should be used, and it's similar to Ali and how he can't be himself in the society, and the society wants to constantly change him. So it's like one last bit.
I read that same article translated in English.
Wow.
A reflection of the political and cultural tensions surrounding popular music is post-revolutionary Iran. After the 79 Islamic Revolution, Western-influenced popular music, pop, became heavily censored because it was associated with the Shah-era modernization project and Western cultural influence. And then there was a whole section about what you just said, which I can't find right now, but I will find later, because I was going to bring that up in
that's
deeper analysis too. Good. Should we go behind the scenes and trivia?
Yes.
Yes.
The film was originally titled Ali Santouri, but was changed soon after production began. The production for the film began in 2006 and ended the same year, spanning 70 days. All of the filming took place in and around Tehran. And for the singing scenes, Ardavan Kamkari played the santour, while Mohsen Chavoshi provided the vocals. Is it Radan? Am I saying his last name correctly?
Bahram Radan, yeah.
Bahram Radan lip-synced the songs and moved the santour mallets in the correct manner, but wasn't actually ever playing. He was
It was
just
very clear.
miming the position. Yeah.
Who's
Is it very obvious that he's
whose
not playing?
hands
I couldn't.
do they use in the inserts?
Maybe insert some. Maybe it's probably then Ardavan
Maybe.
Kamkar.
Maybe. Because even like in the wide shots, like he's moving his wrists when he's playing, which is not how you
Yeah.
play the santour. You're supposed
Yeah,
to
you're
move
not
your
supposed to.
forearms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the wide shots, he's like moving his wrists like it's a drum. But then it like cuts to inserts and it's like being played correctly by like an actual santour player, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
clearly not the same person. Also, the hands looked older in the insert.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The film was first screened for critics and guests in February 2007 at the Fajr Film Festival. A couple of scenes were cut out of the festival and was held during the month of Muharram.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The film was supposed to be released publicly in Iran on July 25th, 2007, but for unknown reasons, this did not happen. The film was then set for release on the 13th of October, 2007, which coincided with Eid ul-Fitr. Do you know what Eid ul-Fitr is? I don't know. Another Muslim celebration. But again, the film was not released. At first, the film was not released because of the singing segments of the film. The voice of Chavoshi was used, who at the time did not have a permit for public performances from the Ministry of Cultural and Islamic Guidance in Iran. To solve this problem, the editors used Bahram Radon's voice and altered it digitally to make it sound similar to Chavoshi's. Even after this, the film was not released. The head of Ministry of Culture, Hossein Safar Harandi, was personally against the screening of the film and said that he would not allow it to be shown while he was in charge of the ministry, even though the film had all the necessary requirements and had been screened once before in Iran. Instead of vanishing, the banned film took on an active underground life. Bootleg VCDs were aggressively circulated on the black market, which probably has Sepideh watched it. It was aggressively circulated on the black market and the internet, making it one of the most widely viewed yet legally restricted films of that era. This paradoxical afterlife highlights the power of the public in circumventing state censorship in Iran. Mehrjui compared the ban to the saddest moment of his career. He also mentioned hearing from families whose children stopped smoking after watching the film. He clearly saw it not as a corrupting movie, but a socially healing one. That contract between state perception and audience reception is something worth writing about and talking about.
This movie is...
Yeah, go ahead.
If you want to buy a DVD of this movie on eBay, pre-owned, it's about $65 Canadian. On Amazon, if you want to buy it new, it's $120 Canadian.
Wow.
For the DVD or Blu-ray?
The DVD. It's like very
That's
hard
insane.
to come by.
In an essay titled The Politics of Popular Music in Iranian Cinema, a case study of Dariush Mehrjui Santouri, written by Ardavan Mofidi Tehrani, he mentions, this writer, that there is a concept called taraneh siyah, dark songs or black lyrics.
Yeah.
And researchers argue that many 2000s Iranian pop songs expressed these black lyrics, which was topics of despair, frustration, emotional collapse, failed love, and hopelessness. And the author of this essay frames Chavoshi as a defining figure of this mood. Like, he really was like one of the godfathers of this genre. So the soundtrack by Chavoshi, whose unauthorized voice became central to the film's cultural impact, but at the same time, Chavoshi himself was banned from officially releasing any music. So ironically, while the film remained censored, Chavoshi eventually became one of the most famous and officially licensed singers in Iran. It's like very paradoxical. That's it. That's my point. This is my behind the scenes things.
I know. I feel like I obviously the film holds a special place in my heart just because I watched it when I was very young, and the fact that it was banned for just like talking and showing things that was not normal at the time to see on screen, on big screen in Iranian movies. I love that. Like, even their relationship that was like really sweet and cute, like even though they never touched each other, they're like playing with the scarves and like kind of like pushing each other, like yelling into each other's faces. That was never seen in any other movies. So that was new for me.
Yeah.
Did the contraband around this movie make it like extra like cool and edgy to you as a teenager?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That's so cool.
Some like Sepideh had like a 15, 16-year-old friend named like Sarah, and she was like, "Psst, Sepideh, you want to sneak outside of school and go behind the corner and watch Santouri?"
Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
They're like wearing leather jackets and like shades, sunglasses.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like the kids outside Kava and I's classrooms are like sneaking out to smoke in the smoker pit. You guys are sneaking out to like watch these movies.
Watch a movie. So cool. Oh my god, did I tell you I got in trouble for like taking my, like, I had a book that had like actors like photos in it, and I got trouble for it.
Oh my god.
Because I took it to school. Like, literally. I also didn't take it to school because I knew I would get in trouble. My friend brought it to school to give it back to me. It was a whole thing.
Yo, your friend did that knowing that you would get in trouble.
Yeah.
100%.
She did. She sabotaged me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to critical reactions.
Okay.
As I'd mentioned, at the Fajr Film Festival, it won the Crystal Seymour Audience Award. It won Best Actor in a Leading Role for who? Bahram Radon. Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Okay, there's a variety review by Deborah Young that says Radon earned a Best Actor nod at this year's Fajr Fest for his realistic depiction of a human wreck. Editor Mehdi Hosseini does a fine job reconstructing Ali's fall in flashback, which helps mask the familiarity of it all. in its fusion of modern and traditional music, the Santouri playing has a special fascination. And she gave it like positive reviews.
Nice.
There's no stars in there. Also, Time Out magazine gave it 3 out of 5. And I like this specific quote. It goes, "The best stuff in the movie has nothing to do with drugs. There's real joy and lovely detail in Ali's courtship of Hania, who will become his wife and eventually leave him. And a scene in which he teaches her the basics of the santour is fascinating, both for pure information and because it shows Ali's passion for music. But Santouri is not a film about music. It's about a junkie, and we all know how that story goes." So like kind of like mid reviews from this person. And I kind of agree with them.
Yeah,
those are
same.
the things that I think the drug addiction stuff is like the least interesting part of this, and it's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Is that forgivable, Sepideh?
I mean, yes, but we do have a huge drug issue in Iran. So
What, the three of us do?
Yeah, we. All three of us.
Iran has a huge drug addiction problem, and I think it's one of the first times they like put it on the screen, and the fact that it's so accessible. It's so accessible
Yeah.
to everybody just because some people in the government are selling it, you
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah.
they make it very accessible for people, and they're like numbing the entire society while they're like destroying their lives.
Yeah.
This
That's
a
this
fair
came
point.
out after Max, right?
Max?
I haven't seen Max. You've seen
Max was the musical. MAXX. Because Max has a character in the movie that's like, it's like heavily implied that he's a druggie, but like we don't see him go to like this extent.
Yes, it did. Max came out in 2005.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen it, I don't think.
The one thing I'll say about that Sepideh is it's interesting. Like, it's a very interesting point that it's the first time they depicted it since the Islamic Revolution. But a lot of the times I compared this to the deer, Avaz
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Behruz. Was it Behruz?
Yeah.
Vusuri?
Yeah.
Vusuri's like depiction of a drug addict in that movie, if you haven't seen it, is really good. Like,
Yeah.
he's such a good actor, and the way
Yeah,
he does that,
it
I
is.
liked watching that. Felt like you're watching Marlon Brando play a drug addict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know.
There's like a hint of, oh, this is like a classical performance version of a drug addict,
yeah.
but it's so good. It's so entertaining.
Yeah. I think I watched it probably when I was a kid.
So good.
It's not a kid's movie. You should watch it as an adult.
Yeah, definitely.
very
But
sad.
Dariush Vosuri was awesome.
Yeah.
He was
He is
a
awesome.
talented.
Still alive.
He is.
He's alive,
still
yeah.
alive. Yes. He's a talented artist.
Deeper analysis. What are your deeper analysis thoughts on this film? Farn, Sepideh, go for it. Either
yeah.
of you.
No.
Sip.
Farhan,
Sip, sip.
Farhan can go.
Sip, sip.
I
Sip,
Go
sip.
for it.
Sepideh, go ahead.
Oh my god, no, Farhan, go.
No, go.
Oh my God.
Kaveh, what's your deeper analysis?
This film is dealing with two things. It's the stigmatization and banning of popular traditional music in Iran
Yeah.
and substance abuse. And I think it's that stuff about how Mehrjui is like celebrated for pioneering the Iranian new wave, right? The cow and all that stuff. And he's constantly clashing with censorship. So this is his film. This is, I think, should have been his film about censorship and like pushing against that. I think he was a little bit not worried or afraid. I don't want to like say cowardice, but I think he was being a little bit cautionary to not draw that out. And I think the deeper analysis is all the drug stuff is supposed to be is like very similar to what Kimyai does in The Deer.
Yeah.
Which is like, look what this country does to our young artists.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, the drug addiction is supposed to be about the censorship, even though it's not directly about the censorship, which is, you know, good subtext.
Yeah.
Yes. The lovely
But
lady
they
in the
talk
back.
about it. They talk about it. They
Go
say
on.
it
Yes, they do.
multiple times. But like, I feel like we need to keep in mind this film was made in 2007 in Iran.
Yes.
And like to say it out loud in a movie that, oh, they're like censoring, like they're banning, they're not allowing his cassettes to come out. They're canceling
yeah.
all of his concerts. All the events, private events, are getting canceled because they keep raiding them. Like, it's all like talking about the government and how that's the reason he has to like do the things he's doing, not to be an
They
asshole,
talk
but,
about
like,
it a few times, but then how many times for every time they talk about it is it another scene of him yelling at someone who cares about him,
Yeah.
screaming at him in that same. It's like his acting of drug addict, though I think he was a better actor during the happier scenes. His drug addict scenes, because they felt repetitive, were like a little bit like Bachin no Nori. Like he was
yeah.
just like,
I mean, he was a rich kid in
yeah, it did.
Tehran who
The character or the actor? Which
the
one?
character.
Yeah.
Probably the actor too.
Yeah, and it probably
I don't
did
know.
come off that way a little bit too much, but it's like a little bit like a complaining little brat kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I get it. I just thought it was a little bit too much of like, yeah, I don't know.
I thought he's like acting some moments that he's like portrayal of a drug addict was just like so too much.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Points.
on that note, the other drug addicts at the homeless camp, those ones
Yeah.
were like way too like campy, like hammy. Like it was just like way too.
Oh,
over the
really? You
top.
thought so? I thought those guys were very realistic.
No, I thought they were like
Yeah, but that reminded
And
me
I'm
of
like-
It reminded me of Vusuri
Mm.
in The Deer. The way he's like talking.
It
when
felt
he's
like
high.
they were all trying to do Vusuri's performance.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Let me say my other deeper thought, and then I'll be quiet, and you guys can run with your very smart thoughts. This is from the article that I read, and I was like, this is such a good point. I'm going to make this point because I agree with it. Which is, no, I just fully agree with it. But it's like the Santour itself becoming symbolic, as you were talking about. And like the film is Santouri, means the Santour player. But the soundtrack, as you mentioned, is dominated by synthesizers, electric guitars, rock instrumentation, Western pop structure. So the Santour is present almost like a ghost of Iranian tradition inside a modernized soundscape. So the quote is, that fusion reflects modern Iranian identity itself. The film visually reinforces this, because Ali's apartment walls are covered with posters of who? John Lennon, Jim Morrison, Western rock music, just a Jimi Hendrix poster. It's not like he doesn't have his walls with Iranian artists. It's like very Western. So like this essay that I read was arguing that Western pop rock becomes associated with artistic legitimacy and modernity amongst Iranian youth. And that's a really nuanced cultural point. Not just Western influence, but Western music functioning as symbolic freedom for these people. I'm quoting our essay at this point. Because this author had also added a personal anecdote because he's a music teacher. He said that when he was teaching music in Tehran, young students became far more excited hearing Pink Floyd or Sting than they were excited about hearing classical Iranian music. So there was clearly this invasion of like influence from the West, and there's a deeper hatred for that from the government. So it's like all of this is like symbolic of like rebellion and like uprising and modernity and youth. That was the thought that I read that I really liked. And Sepideh, you had already kind of pointed that out very eloquently.
Yeah. You basically stole my idea, so we can move on from me.
Was that okay? But that's what you say. Add to it, please. Tell me
I thought Kaveh used
your
like an
words.
academic paper to
I know.
take the wind
That was
out
so
of our
much
sails.
better. Whatever. No, I think you said it correctly. Truthfully, to continue what I said earlier about how Santour is not being used the way it's supposed to be used, and how Ali is not like accepted in the society the way he wants to be accepted, and then it's like being reinforced by his own family who told him that he had to choose between his Santour or his family, and he chose his Santour.
Yeah.
He faced the consequences and became an addict.
Was that in the scene? Was that in the scene when he was a child? Remember, he talks about when he's in rehab. He's talking about the first time he saw Santour,
Yeah.
and they showed him as a child. Was that when he was told to make a choice?
No, but when he went to his house, like his parents' house for the first time, he said that out loud, that you told me to choose it and you kicked me out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Also, what a weird scene. I thought that was a weird scene.
Yeah. A lot of weird scenes in this movie.
Yeah. Did you notice that the brother was like putting ketchup on his pizza?
Yeah, I wondered about that.
That's a thing.
That was a
Have you
thing.
had Pizza Shab, Kaveh?
I haven't had it, but it's very close to me actually.
They have a few locations. Sepideh, it's a chain of pizza stores in Toronto,
Yeah.
and they make Iranian style pizza.
Mm.
So it'll have like kalvas on it, and you have it
Oh
with
my
ketchup
God.
and stuff. So it's like, and all my Iranian friends who like came here as teenagers or later are
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Pizza Shop is so good, blah, 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 blah. They love it.
So bad, but so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it. It's just like, it's basically a different dish.
Oh yeah. Like so the original Iranian pizza was like with ground beef, and a lot of cheese, ground beef, and I think corn also, and bell peppers, and then you add it's delicious. I'm like
Ketchup,
my mouth is watering, and you add ketchup, and you sometimes add mayo to it too. I don't know what it's definitely.
But I've
not
also
a
seen
normal
ones
pizza.
with like kalvas. What's
I've never
kalvas
seen
in
that.
English?
It's pastrami, like cold cuts.
Yeah, like cold cuts. There's like, you can also get them with cold cuts.
Yeah, I've never had that, but
Or
I
with
remember the
chicken.
first time. Yeah, the first time we had like a Italian style pizza in my town, my hometown. We're like, doesn't have anything on it. What is this?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
We should get a sponsorship from Pizza Shop. We should be like, yo,
You should.
that's up. And I thought, okay, when I first found out about Pizza Shop, I was like, oh, is this like a Muslim pizza store or whatever? And then Daniel from Ontario Camera was like, no, man, like that's just Iranian pizza.
Yeah.
So is that it for deeper analysis on you, Farhan?
Yeah, Pizza Shop.
Yeah.
No, I mean the main things for me for deeper analysis is it's not even that deep. It's very on the nose. We've like talked about it, but it's this whole thing of how the movie represents how the government wants to keep the population pacified through the use of drugs to prevent any kind of like resistance, right?
Yeah.
I do also think it's interesting that Mehrjui attempts to make this subtle criticism. It feels like he's doing it with one hand tied behind his back. And I have a hunch that a lot of his later movies are like this, where he's like kind of trying to criticize, but he's doing it with one hand tied behind his back, which is why like his last video that he does, he put out this like selfie video, almost like a manifesto, where he's like, that's it. I've had it.
Yeah.
I've had it with the censorship. I've had it with you guys telling me what I can and can't do. You've ruined my art. He like goes off. And then like 2 days later, they
killed him. Yeah.
Well, they killed him. Right. So to me, this is one of those movies where you can tell it's like, oh, this is his attempt. This is Mehrjui's attempt to make this critique within the parameters that he thought he was allowed to work. And in the end, like it didn't get more than one screening at Fajr anyway.
Did you guys know that Gov, his movie, like his second movie, was also like banned
Khomeini's
for a
favorite
year?
movie?
Yes, Khomeini's favorite movie.
Yeah.
But like that was also banned for a year. Like he's like entire career he's been like dealing with a lot of censorship.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
The Gov was also censored by the Shah.
Yeah. It was censored by the Shah.
Yeah.
For a year, even though they funded it.
Yeah.
Like the Canada Council of the time, like the Iranian Council of the time, funded it, but then they were like, no, we can't actually show that.
Yeah.
Great. Best scene? Shall we talk about our favorite scene in the film? I want to know everybody's favorite scene of the film.
My favorite scene is probably when they're like, she's like holding the dove, the kabutar, and comes down the stairs.
That's a good one.
She
that was
kisses
really
it.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly the stuff I was thinking of. Like, it's not my favorite scene, but like I really love
the tender moments.
That's so early in the movie too, and it's such a good example of how good they are.
Yeah.
She's helping him write lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want someone to write lyrics with me.
My favorite scene is the duet scene for like similar reasons.
Yeah.
Like when they have the duet when he's playing Santour and she's on the piano. It was really good.
It was like almost at the end. Yeah.
Mine is I actually like the father-son scene a lot. Dramatically, it was one of the few times that I actually really liked him being a bachinono.
Which
one was
that?
So sad.
Was that when his
It's
dad
sad.
comes to visit him and he like steals his dad's money?
At his house. Well, yeah, he doesn't steal. He takes it right in from him. But he's just like, the devastation of a father trying to, like, the dad that seems like a good dad. Like, the dad seems like he's really trying and cares. But also, like, I mean, I was raised by someone who has substance abuse problems, and it's like that pain.
Like a role reversal.
It's it's a role reversal for my situation. But I feel like anyone with family members who are like addicts, it's such a heartbreaking lose-lose because you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. And at the end of the day, it's like the person you love more than anything in the world is like letting you down, but worse, letting themselves down, and they don't see it.
That was such a devastating scene to watch.
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen the movie, he, like, because his arm is also broken, he can't inject the heroin into his own arm. So he gets his dad to inject the heroin into his arm.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and then the dad cries.
Yeah.
So sad.
You know which Farsi term I've come to hate because every time I see it in movies, it's like under the most skeeviest of terms, even though I think it's like, I've heard like young Iranian people say it.
What?
Sepideh, you probably heard this a lot more. It's like,
دهنت سرویس میکنم.
No, بیا
حال کنیم، حالی بزنیم.
حال بزنیم.
Yeah,
حال
it
بزنیم
also
is like, let's like
I don't like it. I also don't like it.
It's such a skeevy term because I remember like Vusuri says it too, like in that like it's like ugh, it's so gross and like and then he says it a few times, I think to his dad and later on to like another person, and it's just like, to the home. And I'm just like it, and I've heard it like young people say just for fun, like let's go like hit the town or something, and, like just have a good time or something. Yeah, but it's like even then, I just hate that term. It's always like
me
it's
too.
Such a druggy
me
term.
too. I noticed it as well, and I was like, ugh, I don't like that. So it's funny that you say that too. Same. Yeah,
because I mean, it's also like something they'll say to women too, right? Like it's like a gross. It's very gross.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's poetry.
Best scene? Or did you give yours best scene?
I did. It was it was the duet
piano
scene.
The duet.
Yeah. I'll go first with Damn That's Poetry because it's directly connected. When he says, I'm going to take you to the hospital, his dad is telling him in that scene. And he says, he goes, what for? So that I quit? Did anyone even ask me whether or not I want to quit? I don't want to quit. I want to keep doing this until the very end, until I explode and disappear.
که چی بشه؟ که ترک کنم؟ کی هم پرسید میخوام ترک کنم یا نه؟ ها؟ کی پرسید؟ من نمیخوام ترک کنم. میخوام همینجوری ادامه بدم تا ته تهش. تا هرچی زودتر بهتره کم برم پی کارم.
And that is the devastating line. Because it's so like a line of like, he's not even talking anymore. It's the drugs talking. Where it's like, why do you think I even want to stop this? I'm feeling this is what I want to be. And it's like, if that person wasn't under the influence of drugs, they wouldn't be saying this. So you're not even communicating with the man anymore. You're communicating with the drug. And that's to me a very powerful and sad scene. So I liked it.
Yeah. That was nice. I like that.
Golshifteh's character is talking about how she's fed up with everything that's been going on around her with Ali, with circumstances, with everything. And she says, I mean, this is what we call life. How am I supposed to relax? I can't take it anymore. It all makes me sick. I hate it all. This cruel, dishonest, unrelenting society that's made everyone poor or addicted to drugs.
آخه اینم شد زندگی؟
آروم باش.
چجوری آروم باشم؟ دیگه تمام هیچی ندارم، از همه چی حالم به هم میخوره، از همه چی بدم میاد، از این شهر خشن دروغگو بیرم که همه رو معتاد بدبخت میکنه.
Yeah, and he said, "You're tearing me apart, Lisa."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
That was she was talking to Javide Avazi, as he called her.
Yeah, the violinist.
Yeah, the violinist.
What about you?
It's at the very beginning when he, after the wedding and he got beat up and he comes home and he throws his santour on the ground and he's like, everything that has happened to me is because of you, basically, to his santour.
چی میگی تو بغل من؟ چی کشیدم از دست تو بود.
Ah, yeah.
The good and the bad.
Yeah, the good and the bad. I mean, mostly the bad. So I thought that was powerful.
Best performance.
Golshifte Farahani. Golshifte's performance in this was freaking incredible. She stole every scene she was in.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, she's great.
She's my pick too.
Yeah. I was going to say that she's great in everything that I've seen. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Is my assumption then correct, Sepideh? You probably picked your homie, Bahram, right?
I mean, that was going to be very obvious. I feel like the dad, Bahram, like Ali's dad.
Yeah, he's very good,
Yeah.
actually. That's a really nice pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just so soft and kind and like a true, like, he portrayed a caring dad in the best way possible, you know? And the heartbreak that, everything you said earlier about like wanting to help, but like feeling like so hopeless at the same time. And then like he cleaned the house right after he like basically passed out because he was high. So sweet.
Masood Rayagan.
Yeah. Masood Rayagan. I choose him.
Yeah.
I choose you, Masood Rayagan,
Thunderbolt.
to fight in the Tournament of Champions. Sorry?
I said Thunderbolt, like he's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
He's your Thunderbolt.
Yeah, mine's Goldshift as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Festival of Cons. Sepideh, what is the thing that you do not like about this film?
The fact that I felt like I needed to come up to breathe for air.
In what sense? Elaborate on that.
Yeah, like at one point,
stressful?
Yes, at like probably an hour and like 10 minutes into the film when
I
the
see.
happy
Yeah, yeah.
moments between the couple was done. It was over and it was just him, like one terrible event after another. I was like, I'm done. Like how much more suffering one can take. So I didn't like that about the film.
Yeah, I would say I sort of, for me, it's the same thing, except this repetitive suffering from his drug addiction was a little bit losing its effect on me. And I wish those moments, even though you point out so elegantly, Sepideh, that you do mention in the film, I wish that they talked a little bit more influence on like the government's chokehold on this.
Yeah.
I know they probably couldn't, but I just wish it wasn't the same sad beats over and over
Yeah.
again, cut with flashbacks
Yeah.
Yeah.
toward the second and third act.
Oh, I already mentioned mine. I said I have three main ones. One was he's unlikable and he's not interesting, which goes back to what Kaveh was saying about he doesn't care if a character is likable or not. Is he interesting?
Yeah.
And
I don't think he's not interesting. I don't think he's interesting enough to justify the acts that he commits.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the fine line.
Yeah.
Like-
I agree with you.
Like
Yeah.
Sonny Corleone beats his wife and girlfriend and sister as well. Well, not his sister, but beats his wife for sure.
Yeah.
And he's a bad guy. He's a bad person.
Yeah.
But in that is like a complex story of the masculinity that is falling in a family of like
Yes.
older generation Italian immigrants who have to keep a facade of mafia front. And
Yeah.
also he's fighting other men. He's got anger issues. Like
Yeah.
it's a deeply complex physical violence that exists in him.
Yeah.
Not just punching a woman in the face that you love because you're like it has to be
Yeah.
deeper than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my point.
I guess I also didn't like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
What did you say, Sepideh?
I didn't like the domestic violence part of the film. I feel like it was not necessary, but
Like, even if he was like high when he did it, I think I'd be fine. Or if they like insinuated that like he was beat growing, like something to just like make his character a little more like nuanced or like give depth to that part
It
of
was
his
the
character.
way that scene was directed. I think our problem is that scene wasn't directed well enough.
Yeah.
He turned on a 180 degree violent level.
Yeah. For like lettuce hitting his santour.
yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't, there should have been like a,
It wasn't even like a serious fight.
No.
Okay, the other two things I wrote here, I wrote this one I mentioned, the fake druggy voices from everybody in the movie is like way too hammy. Then I thought the movie was too long. Like for what happens in the movie, it was too long.
yeah.
Like if other things had happened to him, I think I would have been fine. But yeah, that's it. Those are my main gripes.
Okay. Can I add one more thing? Like, yes, it was too long. And like that scene when he goes home to like take money from his mom, like I don't think it added anything to the story. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
it shows that we knew that he didn't have a good relationship with his family.
Yeah.
Like it, and then it just was unnecessary. They could have probably cut that entire thing out.
Yeah, and you know what? To your point, I think it would have made the scene with his dad hit even harder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Double feature lineup. Sepideh, if you're the proprietor of a movie theater and you had to pair this movie with another movie, what movie do you think would go nice with this?
Oh, I thought it's like what movie is similar to.
Yeah? Yeah.
A Star is
You could go with
Born.
that.
I feel like it's like
Okay, I haven't seen a Star Wars. Which version?
I thought you said a Star Wars for a second.
A
Like,
Star
what?
is Born. The one with Lady Gaga. I haven't seen the previous ones.
Yeah, it's been remade 3 times, that movie.
Oh. But like it's such a familiar story. It's the same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Remade 2 times.
Yeah.
You? What would you pick?
Can you guess what mine is, Kaveh?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you know me. What is mine?
Kimia is the deer.
It's not, and I knew you were going to say that. It's Ray.
I see. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Ray?
Yeah, the movie Ray. It stars
Ray Charles.
Yeah, it's about Ray Charles. It stars Jamie Foxx as the titular character. It's written and directed by
Yes.
Taylor Hackford.
I've seen that.
It's
a-
really good.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's like, well, here's the thing. I will say my pick was Walk the Line, which is the Johnny Cash story,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is exactly like Ray, which is exactly like every musical biopic that is about a drug. Like these stories have Walk Hard was like the satire spoof movie of it, and that should have been the end of these stories because it literally happens in the Elton John biopic. It happens in Bohemian Rhapsody. It happened like these stories again and again are the same stories, which is why I don't love it. But I could also say Whiplash could be an interesting one because it's about obsession with music.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I will also say one that you guys didn't think maybe is Sound of Metal. And the reason I love the movie Sound of Metal was because I knew it was about I'd heard the part about that it was going to be about a guy who loses his hearing, but I didn't realize from that point on it was going to become a movie about addiction. And it becomes more of a movie about addiction than it becomes about his hearing loss.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Sound of Metal?
Yeah, this is really good.
Did.
It's
Let's watch it
fantastic.
again.
Hollywood remake. I would remake this movie because I think there's stuff that this could have. I want Mehrjui passed away sadly, but like give this to Sepideh to remake in Canada, like not under the suspicious and watchful eye of the Iranian government, where you can tell the true version of it uncensored
Yeah.
and tell the story about the addiction that young people fall under because they're talented artists who are having their artistic expression stripped away from them. I mean, I'd love to see a version of this that didn't have to like kowtow to a fucking government that wouldn't even show their film anyways.
I mean, I would also like change the main character from a guy to a woman because that's also real. But
Yeah.
yes, I would definitely like remake it.
Maybe it's a woman who wants to join theater and her conservative parents are like, no, you can't. There's boys in theater. And then she gets
Not
kicked
parents, just one.
Okay. The dad. And then she gets kicked out so that she can pursue theater, then becomes a druggie.
That sounds so
That's why
familiar.
Sepideh is a drug addict.
Yeah. Surprise.
Sepideh is high on heroin right now.
I wanted to
during
come
the
up
podcast.
on this podcast to let everybody know that I am an addict. Yes.
Yeah, this is the way.
Are you
Yeah.
in your remake, Kaveh? Is it still heroin, or are you switching the drug to like meth or something? Or
That's
cocaine?
heroin. That's always heroin.
Yeah.
They're all doing heroin. Yes. Anyone else thoughts on? I mean, that's Karan. I guess you need to give your version.
Yeah, I've talked about this before about how I want to see a remake of The Deer made in like contemporary Iran. I would find a way to like mix this with that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
mix
I
this
see.
with The Deer and then set it
Musical
in.
deer.
Yeah. The musical Deer.
You know what you know what that title would be?
What?
Doe a deer.
What?
Doe a deer. A female deer. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Doe a deer. Okay. Final thoughts and grades. What would you give this movie as a grade if you were a teacher marking a report? I give it a B, solid B, not a minus, not a plus, not. Are you like shocked because you thought I should give it a much higher? Mark?
No, I thought you were gonna give it much lower
Yeah, I thought you were going to give it a lower mark.
because B is mine. And I liked it more than you did. Don't change it now.
You know what?
Don't change it.
No,
you can't change it.
You know what? You're right. No. No, let's go B minus.
B minus from Kaveh. Okay. I thought the movie was pretty good the first half, but at a certain point, it just felt like I was watching the same scene over and over and over. And every time I saw like no change from this guy, no like real depth to him beyond like the surface level presentation of him, and added to the fact that like he slapped his wife and there was like no redemption, there was no depth to it. I'm just like, this, I like did not enjoy most of the movie, most of the second half. The thing that kept me going was the music. The music, incredible. The music was amazing. Some of the performances were really good. So I feel like the movie kind of averages out to like a C plus for me.
Okay.
Hardcore.
So
I mean, I thought it was a good movie when I was 16. I watched it. I still think it's a good movie. It has its flaws, obviously, because nothing is perfect. Perfection does not exist. But I think it did a good job for the time that it came out, and it actually showed the new ideas, new things that I like, drinking alcohol or doing drugs or being intimate with your partner, like your romantic partner on screen at a time in 2007. So I give it a solid B.
which means the Cinema Rex show average score for Santouri is a B minus minus.
Santour B.
Yeah. Santour B minus minus.
Nice.
Dariush Mehrjui's 2007 drama Santouri is a vital artifact in social history of Iranian cinema, illustrating the tense intersection of state sponsorship, youth culture, and the underground arts in post-revolutionary Iran. More than a melodrama about addiction or artistic collapse, the film captures a generation caught between tradition and modernity, where Western-influenced popular music became both an emotional refuge and a political provocation. Through its fusion of the ancient santour with electrical guitars and rock arrangements, Santouri sonically embodies the fractured identity of contemporary Iran itself, a nation negotiating between cultural heritage and forbidden modern desires. The tragic irony is that this film's own fate mirrored the struggles of its protagonist, banned from theatrical release, circulated through bootleg copies, and transformed into a cultural legend precisely because it was suppressed. Yet despite censorship, the film endured, introducing millions to the voice of Mohsen Chavoshi, and revealing how art in Iran often survives not through institutions, but through resistance, memory, and circulation in the shadows. Sepideh, thank you so much for joining us and doing this podcast episode with us.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Plug your stuff. What do you have upcoming? We're going to promote it on the social medias again tonight and tomorrow.
Where can people find you?
What do you got next?
My feature, One Must Wash Eyes, will be available on Amazon On Demand after May 28th, after the theatrical premiere here in Vancouver. And I am in post-production of a short documentary and in development of my next feature film with a writer, a very talented writer. I can't name him. You have to wait.
What's your Instagram? Tell the people where they can find you.
It's my first name, I think, dot my last name. It's Sepideh Yadegar. You can find me easily.
What's your phone number so people can call you if they have questions?
222-222.
Wow.
Not even enough numbers.
Yeah.
Farhan June, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about Santouri.
Thank you, Kaveh.
We appreciate everybody who takes time listening in. Thank you for joining us and listening about this podcast. You can find us at cinemarexpodcast.com or on Instagram at cinemarexpodcast.
Also TikTok and YouTube.
And also on TikTok and YouTube. Like and subscribe and follow all that stuff.
Leave reviews. You know what I realized?
What did you realize?
When the podcast ends, they're going to listen to some Santour.
Yes, you are.
They're listening to it right now. It's playing right now.
Yes, you're listening to it right now. To everybody else, be omid didar.
Bye. Music for Cinema Rex was written and performed by Sohail Sadinejad.